Should you be trying to scale your business, to grow your business, to open new locations, hire more employees, that kind of thing? The world tells you that you need to. However, there is a rising wave of solopreneurs who find joy and beauty in keeping things simple and staying small. One such solopreneur is expert web designer Christy Price. And in this video, she shares insights from her own journey running a successful business of one.
So I've been a web designer for a couple of decades now, but in 2018, I really took a look at the kind of clients that I wanted to work with and spent a year building websites in all the different website builders out there. And I landed on Squarespace because it was the one platform that I could hand off a website to a client, teach them how to make simple updates on their own. And they didn't need me. They didn't need to pay a web designer to come back and make simple edits later. They could really take it and run once they had a nice established website. Yeah, so for me, it was really thinking about what I, as a business owner, love doing and what I want to spend time doing. And I think for most of us that are entrepreneurs, there's something that drew us to the thing that we're doing initially, something that we loved. And for me, it was building websites and also educating people on how to use websites themselves, how to update them, the basics of web design. And for me, those are the fun things. It's, when I wake up in the morning, it's like, I get to build a website today, or, I get to work with a client on making their website better. And for me, those were the things that I loved doing. And along the way, especially after I transitioned to Squarespace and started creating content around it and started getting, SEO, funneling people to my site, then I started getting people asking, well, when are you going to scale your business? When are you going to become an agency? When are you going to hire designers and just, do the management yourself? And there was a while that I thought about that, and it just felt all kinds of wrong to me because I don't want to be a manager. I don't wake up in the morning and think, boy, I want to assign tasks to other people today. For me, it was really just thinking about what I love doing and creating and working one-on-one with people. And sure, that means that my revenue is not going to be multiple six figures. It's impossible to do that as a solopreneur web designer. But for me, what I make is enough. It's enough to have the life that I enjoy having. I work full-time, but not all the time around the clock. I can take vacations. I can take a day off. And I think that work-life balance and then doing what you love is really what's important to me in my business. And I think if you are doing what you love and what you're meant to do, that shines through. And your clients have a much better experience if they're working with someone who really enjoys what they're doing as well.
Yeah, I was thinking about trades, right? So when we think about trades, we think about the person who's a shoe repairman, right? Like that's what they do, or, they're an interior decorator or whatever, like whatever trade that they have. It's not always the knee-jerk reaction when it comes to those kinds of trades. Like, hey, how are you going to scale yourself, right? How are you going to employ more people? And I wish that digital brands could also have that same mindset, right? Like to be okay with saying, yo, if I make, $100,000 a year, I'm happy with that. Like, are you happy, right? And I was talking with a mentor of mine, Andy Crestodina, and I was telling him how I turned down this job that was offering me $50,000, $60,000 more than the current marketing job that I have, right, with Sandstone Care. And I was like, yo, it's really hard to think about, hey, that's a lot of money. And the thing he said to me that really stuck out was, the thing about management and marketing is that the higher you go, the less you actually do, the less you actually create, right? And so many people spend so much time trying to climb that corporate ladder to where they're managing a whole bunch of people, and then they realize that they're disconnected from the reason why they got into this stuff in the first place, that they like to make art, that they like to put their effort and their soul into something. So it's so refreshing to hear you talk about, hey, like, you can just be content. That's okay too. Like, that's an option for you. That's a lane, right?
Right. And I think that there is this mindset around digital entrepreneurs that you have to scale to be successful. And I don't think that's true at all. It really has to do with how you define success. And I think Paul Jarvis did a great job about outlining that in his book, Company of One, and really thinking about what is enough for you and what you want to do. And in thinking about just in terms of scaling, you're right. And your mentor is right. You're doing less and less of the work. You're doing more management. You're moving people around. You're checking off tasks. You're double checking work. And if that's fulfilling for you, if you love managing people and you love making money, then sure, scaling is the right thing for you. But for me, I don't want to be a manager. I want to do the work that I love, which is the design work and the education work. And I think that this idea of being successful means that you've scaled to an agency it's really an idea that I think we need as digital entrepreneurs. We really need to correct that and say you don't have to scale to be successful. Maybe you have to scale to make multiple six figures, but that's not how you need to define success.
If you want to learn more about me or Christy or take any of my free Squarespace web design courses, you can find all of that stuff linked up in the description box below. Also in that description box, you can find the full episode of our podcast, the School of Content Podcast. If you want to learn more about me, Christy, or take any of my free Squarespace web design courses, you can find all of the links to learn more about that stuff in the description box below. If you want to hear the full conversation that I had with Christy, then you can find the link for If you want to learn more about me or Christy or take any of my Squarespace web design courses, you can find all of that stuff linked up in the description box below. Also, if you want to hear the full conversation of my sit down with Christy, then make sure that you check out the School of Content podcast that you can find wherever you get your podcast. If you have any questions about this stuff, feel free to leave me a comment and I will respond. All of my love, and I will see you on the next episode.